From her dumb decision to travel back to the 1700s to acting like a total brat throughout the show, here's why Outlander fans hate Brianna Fraser. The epic historical drama is coming to an end after its 8th season. Don't worry though, because there are still plenty of thrilling Fraser adventures left to look forward to. Did you know though, some fans are finally confessing that dealing with their daughter Brianna has been quite the struggle. Let me be real with you guys here. It's not like Brianna's not making it any easy on viewers either, with her questionable decisions causing chaos all the time. I mean, remember her brilliant idea to travel back in time? In the earlier episodes, Brianna discovered that her mother was a time traveler. She follows Claire through those magical stones at Craig Nadoon, transporting herself to 1700s Scotland. No questions asked, not a second thought to it. Like, who does that? Her character was supposed to be the incredibly smart one, right? Fans naturally had a lot to say. They hated her back in the 1900s too, but she didn't have many scenes. But now that she's getting more screen time, they can't stand her anymore. They think she's an absolute idiot for traveling alone to the 1700s. Don't even get them started on Roger. He said some not-so-nice things to Brianna when she turned down his proposal, yet she still thought it best to give her location and time away to him. Somebody, anybody make it make sense, please. A viewer claimed they actually had to take a break from the show because they couldn't stand her anymore. When Jamie and Ian notice Roger, who follows after her, they mistake him for that evil smuggler Stephen Bonnet. You know, the guy who attacked Brianna when she time-traveled 200 years into the past, and Brianna totally loses her mind. That's not all. Jamie, being the protective father figure that he is, warns Brianna against having a baby before marrying Roger. And boy, did that spark a major blowout. Jamie actually made a valid point about the challenges the young girl might face as a single woman raising a baby on her own. Reminder, we're talking about the 1700s here. Society had its own set of rules back then, even if they might seem pretty gross to us now. Now, instead of taking it in stride, obviously, she reacts as if it's the worst thing anyone could have ever said to her. It's like she traveled all the way to 1770 and then acts all shocked by the societal norms she should have known about already. You know, because she's a historian. This is what she does for a living. She even slaps Jamie, her own father, and Ian, as if physical violence is somehow acceptable when it comes from a young girl. It was only a suggestion, come on. It's not like she's always been super sure of her decisions anyway. In fact, her indecisive personality is one of the reasons why fans hate her so much. She's got people scratching their heads and struggling to keep up. And can you blame them? One fan pointed out a prime example of Brianna's flip-flopping behavior was her response to Roger's initial proposal. At first, she had the perfect reaction, or so they thought. Then, the next time she saw him, she decided to change her decision. Talk about whiplash. It doesn't stop there. Oh no, that'd be too easy. Brianna seems to have a knack for changing her mind about everything under the sun. Her college major changed. Her feelings about her own mother and Jamie? Yep, those changed too. Worse yet, her on-again, off-again relationship with Roger was like a never-ending roller coaster ride of indecision. Now, don't get me wrong, fans don't expect characters to always make the right decisions from the get-go. That'd be boring, right? But when it happens every single time, it can start to wear thin real fast. Fans are just looking for a little consistency, a little stability in her choices. But her chaotic behaviors got the fandom as divided as those famous standing stones. There might be some who find her tolerable, but most can't help but cringe at her character. Well, guess what? Sophie Skelton, the talented actress behind Brianna, actually understands why some people find her unlikable. According to her, when fans first met Brianna in that season 2 finale, she definitely came across as a bratty teenager. Did you know? That was intentional. Even fans of the books admit that Brianna was portrayed as quite the handful in Drums of Autumn, and not necessarily someone they liked reading about. With seasons 3 and 4 though, Brianna had to go through some serious growing pains, which actually made her more likable to many viewers, according to Skelton. She isn't exactly the poster child for likability because she's still figuring herself out, and she's closed off, keeping people at arm's length and mainly focused on her own desires. In a way, she's a bit selfish, and let's be honest, selfish characters tend to rub us the wrong way on both screen and page. Still, Sophie believes there's more to the story. Brianna isn't just self-centered, She's also a confused teenager who's grieving the loss of her father, with whom she had some unresolved arguments with a lot of words left unsaid and regrets lingering in the air. So she's not a bad person, just misunderstood. She's got her guard up, you see. In Season 3, the only time we really saw her let her emotions show was when she supported Claire's decision to go back to the past. That's when she finally allowed Roger to be there for her. And boy, were there tears when she bid her mom goodbye. Then Season 4 gave us a stronger Brianna, someone who was willing to ask for help when she needed it. And she's had to embark on the wild journey of being a wife and mother in a time that ain't exactly her own. All of this may have been true, but all this depth clearly isn't being brought to our screens, because some fans out there are straight up blaming the actress herself for Brianna's unlikability. One fan commented that they find Sophie's line delivery to be a bit one-note, like she's just reading off a script instead of fully embodying the character of Brianna. Another fan chimed in, suggesting that Sophie's focus on nailing the accent might be taking away her focus, which should be on the necessary tones to convey Brianna's emotions effectively. Emotions are a big part of this story, so we need to feel them, right? To be fair though, the blame doesn't lie entirely on Sophie. Fans can see that she doesn't have a whole lot of material to work with when it comes to Brianna's character development. Here's the thing, many fans actually defended her. They argued that Sophie did the best she could given the unclear nature of Brianna's character. It's not just about the casting, it's about who Brianna is. This is proven by the fact that as Brianna's character improved and became more solidified, so did Sophie's believability in the role. A lot of time was spent developing the characters of Jamie and Claire and their families. Then, along comes Brianna in later seasons. And we're suddenly told that she and Claire have had this 20-year-long off-screen relationship. It's no wonder that it failed to connect to the audience. Redditors claimed that Brianna's character can sometimes feel flat and lacked the same depth as the other well-developed characters in the series. She just doesn't hold up as strongly. Add her entitled and selfish personality on top of that, and you've got a character people are gonna hate. It's as simple as that. Some viewers go as far as calling her a brat. The show seems to be making a lot of excuses for her behavior, describing her as having a temper like her dear old dad. You know, the famous Fraser temper. Or that she takes after her fiery mom, Claire, who's quick to anger and physical outbursts. But some argue that it's more than just a temper, it's a downright bad attitude. Just take this scene, for example. Mrs. Bug mistakenly thinks Brianna is pregnant when Roger mentions they have news. And what does Brianna do? She totally loses it and goes off the rails, throwing a massive fit. It gets so out of hand that Roger has to literally pick her up and carry her out of the house, while she kicks and screams nasty names at poor Mrs. Bug. So there you have it. From acting like a total brat throughout the show to her dumb decision to travel back to the 1700s, that was why Outlander fans hate Brianna Fraser.